Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. What is going on, everybody? Friday, January 3rd, 8 a.m. on the dot. I thought I was going to be a little late, but I made it. I made it. Long time no chat. I don't think I've been on YouTube for, it's probably been like a solid 6 hours. Yeah, long time no see. Long time no see. Hopefully, everybody's having a great start to their morning. Interesting week, right? You got some time off. Probably had Tuesday off. Probably had Wednesday. For all I know, you guys had Thursday and Friday off. But if you went back to work Thursday and Friday, and then here we are, weekend's about to start again. So not a bad week around the holidays. And then starting next week, everybody's back to work. Everybody's back to work. Hopefully, everybody's enjoying their cup of coffee. Give everybody a second to start working their way into to the live broadcast. If you end up catching this later, just know 8 a.m. Monday through Friday, I'm right here. So cheers to everybody. Got a great show lined up, everybody. We got a great show lined up. Let me first throw out there the quote of the day. Either you run the day or the day runs you. Either you run the day or the day runs you. I like that. I like that because I think we all can relate to it. Plenty of days where the day runs me. Trust me on that. Try to take control of your day. We got kind of a packed show. Now, I got no guests today, and kind of strategically, I have no guest here because there's a lot that I want to get into. Yesterday, I had a really, really good conversation with Eric Pincus. Actually, I do want to go back to that chat for a quick second a little bit later today. Lakers won last night. I think they got a tough game coming tonight against the Atlanta Hawks. So we're going to talk very little about last night's game. I did the post-game show. If you want some more reaction to that, you can go to the post-game show. But I think naturally it's just going to come up. Hawks tonight. It's going to be a good one. It's going to be a good one. Last time Lakers played the Atlanta Hawks, kind of a completely different team. So I was looking at some stats a little bit earlier on what last night's game looked like, or when the last time the Lakers played the Atlanta Hawks, what that identity was versus this identity. So I think there's some interesting stuff there. Max Christie career night. Can I tell everybody this real quick? I think it's kind of funny. Every time I mention Max Christie, somebody says Darvin Ham. My God, the connection between those two. I guess, what we could do, it's a little bit different when I'm doing the post-game show versus when I'm doing the Sliwa show. Take our time. There's no rush or anything like that. But I think one of the things that we can do is, do people really think that Darvin Ham held back Max Christie, or do you think this is just kind of his natural flow? And Max Christie's getting to a point. Career high night last night, was phenomenal. Works hard on both sides of the ball. Now all of a sudden getting confidence with his three. So we'll spend some time talking about Max Christie. I think it's a lot of reasons to be excited about that. LeBron, by the way, he just dropped 38 yesterday like it was nothing. And literally, it's like it was nothing because not that many people are talking about it. I won't spend too much time on it, but he had a great performance last night as well. Austin Reaves, I was going to do this yesterday, but when I had Eric Pincus on, we were having a really good conversation about basically how the Lakers can go make another deal. Austin Reaves, is he kind of being handed the keys to this Lakers organization? What I mean by that is, hey, we need you to be a ball handler. We need you to step up your game now that D'Angelo Russell is gone. And I say all that. Can he be an all-star? Is that his ceiling? Will he ever be in an all-star game, or is that not a conversation we should be having? There was a good article in the LA Times about that, so we'll spend a little bit of time on that as well. Charles Barkley goes after JJ Redick. So last night I finished the post-game show, and I find myself this kind of naturally happens whether I like to do it or not because the show's at 8 a.m. I got to do some prep at night. So right after the show ended, I start working on this morning show. And I'm like, what happened here? What's going on? I guess I just didn't see the story, didn't know anything about it. But Charles Barkley was going after JJ. I'll save that for when it happens. Jimmy Butler, I mean, you want to talk about trying to get out of Miami. Jimmy Butler's doing everything he can. I got the clip. We could talk about it. I don't want him to go to a Western Conference team. And then we got our weekend preview. So good morning, everybody. Thank you for being a part of the show. I appreciate everybody that's on here. This chat, incredible. Incredible. Got to be honest with you guys. There's a lot of shows out there, whether it's in sports related or whatever the case. And you don't typically see the chat this active. So thank you. Thank you for taking the time, putting your comments on there. I'm going to let you guys do your thing. And I appreciate everybody also being respectful to each other and everything else. So cheers to all you guys. Everybody that said good morning to you as well. Let's get the show started. Yeah, yesterday, by the way, my apologies yesterday. Show at 9 o'clock. It was like done at 9. I'm sure people were sitting back like, sleep. You always go past 9. I couldn't yesterday. I was in one part of SoCal. I had to drive to another part of SoCal. I had a short window, so I was kind of in a hurry. This morning, I'm chilling this morning. I am chilling with you guys. All right, Lakers last night over the Portland Trailblazers. I don't think, let me kind of say this here real quick about the game last night. Like I said, if you want a full breakdown, post-game show last night, I did it. So you guys can go back on the channel and grab that. Just my quick thoughts on it. Kind of, there were some moments where it was ugly. You're playing without Anthony Davis, so the Lakers are going to be drastically different. He's the best two-way player in the league, or one of the best two-way players in the league. We all know how important Anthony Davis is to the Lakers. I don't know how strategic it was last night to say, we're playing Portland. They don't even have Jeremy Grant. We got 2 in a row coming. Obviously, last night against the Blazers, tonight against the Atlanta Hawks. I don't know if there's any strategy here in saying, well, let's hold AD back and then let's have AD, do what he does tonight. And maybe LeBron goes tonight. Maybe he doesn't. LeBron was playing last night like he was 25 years old. But the game was okay. Nothing special. Lakers, it felt like with 2 minutes left to go in that game, they should be up 10 or 12 points, and no one should be talking about, hey, this is still a game. It got very stagnant at the end of the game on offense. A lot of holding around, a lot of looking at the clock, a lot of waiting for the shot clock to run down. I didn't like the way they played at the end. But when you take a quick step back, was it a W? Yes. Did you move up in the standings? Yes. Did you win a game without Anthony Davis, which is not easy to do? Yes. And then I think everything else that layers into it. All right, well, let's just start getting ready for this Atlanta Hawks game. You know what's crazy? So I mentioned it just kind of naturally it comes up, right? So last night when I'm doing a little bit of research for the show today, and I'm like, all right, yeah. Last game Lakers played, they played Atlanta. That was a game that they lost in OT, 134 to 132. And I'm saying in my head, I'm like, wait a minute, wasn't the last time the Lakers played the Hawks? That was basically the final game of that awful stretch that the Lakers were on. Let me first say this. I think Atlanta's very competitive. I think they will compete against the Lakers tonight. And I think if the Lakers don't play good basketball, they'll lose tonight. They could easily lose to the Atlanta Hawks tonight. Obviously, got to have Anthony Davis there. But I was looking, and I'm looking at the last time the Lakers played the Hawks. So let me kind of, just so you guys can see just the type of team the Lakers were at this stage of the season. So they played Atlanta. This was a couple weeks ago. It was actually almost a month ago now. It was on December 6th. Okay. This is after the Lakers lost to Minnesota 109 to 80. They lost by 29. They lost to Miami by 41. And then they lost to Atlanta by 2 in overtime. That was kind of the tail end of just that awful stretch for the Lakers where I think everybody started having questions about what the hell's going on with this team. Everybody kind of started having questions of, wait, is JJ Redick in his first 20 games as the coach of the Lakers? Did he already lose the locker room? What's the problem with the Lakers? What the hell's going on here? They're not even losing. They're getting their asses kicked. But the game specifically against Atlanta, Lakers should have won that game. I don't know if you guys remember. They ended up going to overtime. Anthony Davis had a couple just awful passes. They couldn't execute at the end. They didn't box out during the jump ball. Just stupid possessions by the Lakers. They handed Atlanta the game, and they ended up losing that game. But let me just kind of describe what the Lakers are since that loss to Atlanta, okay? So leading up to that game against Atlanta, they were giving up 109, 134, 134. They had a couple of those games against Orlando, Denver, and Phoenix where they gave up 119, 127, 127. That was just awful. Lakers were just really bad, and there were a lot of question marks about the Lakers. But if I'd have told you after the Lakers lost that game against the Atlanta Hawks, and I want to say that was the last of the 3-8 stretch that the Lakers win. Maybe there was one other loss. I don't know if it's part of that. But here's what the Lakers did after they lost to Atlanta. Beat Portland, beat Memphis, beat Sacramento again, beat Golden State, beat Sacramento, and beat the Portland Trailblazers. They had 3 losses over that 10-game stretch. They lost a game to Minnesota, a game to Detroit, obviously at Crypto, and then that last game they lost against Cleveland on New Year's Eve. They're 7-3 in their last 10 games since they lost to the Atlanta Hawks. The type of team that the Lakers are as well. Look at, I read you guys how many points they were giving up in some of those other games. Here's what the Lakers are giving up since they played the Atlanta Hawks. They gave up 98, 97. They had a 110 in there against Memphis. They gave up 100, 99. They had a 117 they gave up against the Pistons. Couple of games as well. I mean, Cleveland, give them credit. They scored 122 on them. Portland, they put up 106. My point is that since the Lakers last played the Atlanta Hawks, that was actually the point where things started trending in the right direction. So what do I expect tonight from Atlanta or against Atlanta? I don't expect the Lakers to be giving up 134 points. I expect the Lakers to win a game that they're going to be playing at home, and there's got to be a little bit something in this game, just specifically because how they lost that last one to the Atlanta Hawks. Nonetheless, that's what they got coming up. Hopefully Anthony Davis is playing tonight. But Atlanta's been playing some good ball too. I was listening to the broadcast yesterday, Spectrum, and they had Atlanta in their last 5 games beat the Timberwolves, beat the Bulls, beat the Heat, beat the Raptors, and then lost against the Denver Nuggets. So they're also playing better basketball as well. So it should actually be a pretty good game tonight. But that is literally kind of the stage in the season. That's the stage of the season where I think things started turning around was against the Atlanta Hawks. So let's see if the Lakers can do some work there. All right, let me look at a couple comments here, and then I want to talk about Max Christie here for a quick second. Mohammed, thank you for being a part of the show, and thank you for the super. Lakers got screwed by a few Fugazi calls. Okay, a couple things here on your comment. Number one, anytime you use the word Fugazi, I'm probably going to read your comment. It might be the greatest word that's ever out there. You guys have heard me say this before, okay? There's a scene. Why don't I just pop up the scene? All right, I'll pop it up one of these days. There's a scene in one of my favorite movies of all time. It's got Johnny Depp in there. It's got Al Pacino in there. It's a perfect mob scene where Al Pacino comes to Johnny Depp. He's looking at these jewels that he has, these diamonds that he has, and Johnny Depp kind of throws them off. He's like, yeah, these are Fugazi. They're not real. He's like, huh? What? It's one of the best. So you throw Fugazi in, I'm probably going to get you in here. Lakers did not get screwed by a couple Fugazi calls. Maybe there were a couple Fugazi calls, but the Lakers looked like Fugazis at the end of that game. This awful execution. It was really bad. By the way, the movie, Donnie Brasco. Donnie Brasco's the movie. All right, let me get another one of these supers here. Northborough, appreciate you being a part of the show, and then we're going to get into Max Christie and his career night and how every Laker fan thinks that Max Christie was held back because of Darvin Ham. All right, good for Max. Now give me this lineup. Bron, Max, Cam, Dorian, AD. Not starting, but sometime during the game. That is a tough 5. All right, Bron at the 1, Max at the 2. So basically you're saying your 2, your 3, and your 4 are solid defensively, and then AD at the 5. You want Reaves in that lineup? I'm trying to get Reaves in that lineup. I know why you're doing it. You want it more from a defensive standpoint. You could have for a couple of, if you want Reaves to rest for a little bit, that's fine. But, push comes to shove and it's at a critical stage of the game. Got to have Austin Reaves. All right, Northborough, thank you for the super, brother. I appreciate it. I get a couple supers like you guys just bought me a cup of coffee. Thank you. Let's get that coffee in real quick. What happened to the Cup of Joe? Nothing happened. Cup of Joe right here. My brother, Cup of Joe right here. You kidding me? What are you talking about? Nothing happened. Fugazi also happens to be the name of my favorite band. Damn, there's a band out there called Fugazi. Jesus. It's a terrific name. It's a great name. All right, let's keep moving here. Let me just see if there's another one here. All right, people trying to make trades. No one is making corner threes with that lineup. Got to have Reaves in that lineup. Got to have Reaves. All right, let's talk about Max Christie here real quick. Jonathan, what up, Slee? Happy Friday. Happy Friday, my brother. Jonathan, good morning, my man. All right, so Max Christie last night. Ooh, Max Christie had a game. Max Christie had a game last night. You know, there was hype the last 2 years about Max Christie coming into he's a rookie and then comes into his second year. I thought last year there was a lot of hype behind Max Christie. And I bought into it. You know, I got, especially being around the team and the way last year I'm at every game at Crypto, and obviously I'm interacting a lot more with a lot more people that are covering the team. So naturally we're having a conversation. Hey, what do you think of Max Christie? What do you think of Max Christie? There's a lot of hype behind Christie. Here's the reality. He was 20 years old. He was his second year in the NBA. And whatever that hype was unwarranted because he probably wasn't going to get too many opportunities. And the year starts, and Darvin Ham's obviously the head coach. And Max Christie really doesn't get a lot of run. And I'm sure, listen, Darvin Ham, I'm sure there are moments of the year last year is like, well, I'm not trying to depend on a 20-year-old when my job is probably on the line. I'm not going to churn to Max Christie to come save the Lakers or be the savior of the Lakers when I got other veterans that I could potentially use. Well, we know what happened. He was using guys like Cam Reddish. He was using guys like Taurean Prince. He was using other players. And maybe there were some mistakes that happened early enough, whether in practice or during games, where Darvin Ham said, he's just too young for me to depend on. All right. That was that. He didn't really get those opportunities. And when he did get opportunities, it's not like Max Christie was taking full advantage of them. I thought something last night was really, really interesting from LeBron after the game. So after the game, LeBron basically said that the coaching staff is giving him confidence. The coaching that he even went back and mentioned the play. I was actually a little surprised that he mentioned the play. Lakers had a game against Oklahoma City Thunder earlier in the year, and all they had to do is get one stop. I can't remember. It was a 2-point game, 3-point game, but they didn't have to play the foul game. And Max Christie fouled. It might have been Jalen Williams that he fouled. Whoever he fouled, they didn't need to foul. It was a mistake from Max Christie. And I remember doing the postgame show that night and saying to myself, I said on the postgame, I'm like, listen, I get it. He's young. He made a mistake. But you can't make mistakes like that. And he went on the mic and after the game and basically said, that one's on me. I thought JJ Redick was telling me to foul. He wasn't telling me to foul. That one's on me. He took it. Okay, that's fine. You could take the blame. But the bigger question is going to be, are they going to be uncomfortable putting you in a position at the end of the game where you might make another mistake like that? Because you can't have too many of those in the NBA where players start losing confidence in you, coaching staff starts losing confidence in you, and most importantly, you start losing confidence in yourself. I thought when LeBron said yesterday, when he said that the coaching staff is allowing him, he's going to make mistakes. He mentioned that play against Oklahoma City Thunder, but they're also telling him, okay, yeah, but get back in there. Mistakes happen. That's part of the game. Go make it happen after that. Max Christie's been given pretty much as much opportunity as any player on this Lakers roster. And I'm talking about, he's being given as much opportunity as Cam Reddish, as much opportunity as Dalton Knecht, as Gabe Vincent, as when D'Angelo Russell was here, as much opportunity as D'Lo, Rui Hachimura. Max Christie has not been in this position where he's the, so far down the line. And if you make one mistake, it's like, yeah, we're not going to see Max Christie for a couple of days. And part of this is because I don't know how many other options JJ Redick has, but there's also got to be some confidence in this player, which is why JJ Redick has said, all right, let me give you a few more minutes. What are you going to do with it? All right, let me put you on that phenomenal offensive player, that phenomenal guard in the NBA. Let me see what you do with it. Now he's getting to the point where, all right, let me throw you in the starting lineup. And oh, by the way, even if we trade for Dorian Finney-Smith, I'm not trying to make a change of the starting lineup right now. Let me leave it as it is. Now, all of a sudden, we're getting to a point with Max Christie where it's like, all right, I'm not looking around and saying, well, we got to make a sub, take Christie out. That doesn't mean he's going to play perfect every time. That doesn't mean he's going to do what he did last night and go 5 of 9 from the three-point line, 9 of 16 from the field. But I do think it's interesting, and I do think coaching and leadership has something to do with this, where there is a coach out there that's saying, why are you looking at me? This is your chance, your opportunity. Go make the best of it. And if you F up like you did earlier in the year, it doesn't mean you're not going to get another opportunity. That, I'm sure, takes a lot of weight off of Max Christie. That, I think there's also just a natural development. If you told me a year ago, if Max Christie is in the same position mentally, the same position physically, the same position with the squad and now in the starting lineup than he was a year ago, no, I think this is part of his natural development as well. But I do notice that there are a lot of Laker fans that are looking at Max Christie and are saying to themselves, the reason why Max Christie is having success is because Darvin Ham's not the person coaching him. I think that's extreme. I wouldn't go that far, but I can see why there are Laker fans that are saying, hey, you had this opportunity with this guy last year. You just didn't use him properly, or you just didn't use him enough. The problem with Darvin Ham is whatever happens, any success that the Lakers have, most people just say, well, it was because Darvin Ham was the coach last year. I don't do that as much. And if I do, well, that's not my intention. But Max Christie specifically dropped 28 last night against the Blazers, hit 5 threes, is running all over the place. His job every single night is what? I got to go play defense. His job every single night is what? I got to go stop the best player on the opposing team. Not always going to happen. You go look at that Lakers schedule. It's Donovan Mitchell. It's Ja Morant. It's De'Aaron Fox. I'm just looking at the last few games that the Lakers have played. There's always a great guard somewhere in the NBA, and they're going to tell Max Christie, we need you to go guard that specific player. He wasn't in the starting lineup from the beginning. He kind of earned his way there, and now he's thriving in that role. So I give the man a lot of credit. I give JJ Redick a lot of credit as well, because clearly there is some connection between your coach and your player. This is your role. Go make it happen. And Max Christie has been thrown out there. It's like, all right, I'm good. I can go make it happen, and he's doing it. How much of his development this year is because of JJ Redick? I think there's probably a good portion of his development has something to do with the coach, the confidence, the mentality, all that stuff. But I don't think every time we see somebody else have success or the team have success, do we got to go back and say, well, that was because it was Darvin Ham's fault. I have yet to read the comments, but I'm sure the comments will go out of their way to remind me, well, that was because of Darvin Ham. All right, let's take a quick look at these comments here. Slee, you could drop 28 against the Blazers. That's horrible. Let's start off with this one. Are you not impressed that he had 28 last night? I don't care who he was playing. I really, really genuinely don't care. I don't care if they're playing the Charlotte Hornets, the Utah Jazz, the Portland Trail Blazers. I don't care if I'm guarding him. The guy had 28 in an NBA game. I mean, would you not be excited? Out of all the players, let me give you an example. LeBron last night had 38, 7 of 10 from the three-point line. That's impressive because he's 40. You're not impressed that Max Christie had 28 in a game? I'm impressed. And that's the best way that I can put it. I'm impressed because it was Max Christie. All right, let's see what we got here. Christie's still not better than Reddish. Okay, you know what? Maybe there is some a little bit of hate on Max Christie that I was unaware of. And listen, I'm not here to drive your opinion. If you got an opinion and you think you think otherwise, feel free to throw it in. But I think if you actually look at end of games, who's going to get that playing time? Is it going to be Cam Reddish or it's going to be Max Christie? It's going to be Max Christie. The Darvin Ham hate is on the same level as the D'Lo hate. Okay, all right. Maybe we do have a Darvin Ham supporter here. And listen, I've said this before. I obviously was hating on D'Lo. I was. No question about it, I was. Barkley has a big mouth. Don't worry, guys. We're going to get to that one. I don't know what the hell was going on yesterday. I'm looking. I'm like, wait, what did Barkley say? We're going to get into Charles Barkley. Don't worry. Barkley goes at JJ Redick. Great comment right here. Max has a coach that believes in him now. He's allowed to play through mistakes to an extent, right? Like, I think you got enough veterans on this team and LeBron and Anthony Davis. If they sense the problem, can you imagine if LeBron and Anthony Davis, let's say Max Christie keeps making mistakes, and then at some point, I'm gonna star some of these Barkley ones because a lot of people are there giving their opinion on it. And at some point, Anthony Davis or LeBron look over at JJ Redick. It's like, brother, get this guy out of the game. You know what's going to happen? JJ Redick's going to be like, God, I got to get this guy out of the game. But he's not making a ton of mistakes. And I don't really think it's not like you could say to yourself, well, man, when Gabe Vincent's in the game, it changes everything. So I don't think there's this, crazy long list of other options that he can go to. And Max Christie locks up. To the best of his ability, he's an athletic guard that locks up, and it's not something that the Lakers have. He's young. Look at the speed around the NBA. Max Christie can hang with some of these players. I'm not telling you he's going to lock down these players. I'm telling you that he's at least has the ability to run up and down with a lot of these players. But I do like this, that the coach believes in him now, so he's playing through his mistakes. All right, let's see what else we got here. We got one more on Max. And then we're going to call it a day. Yep, Max has some confidence now with JJ over Ham. That was Max ceiling for sure. His hoops IQ will improve with experience. Hello and regards from Madrid, Spain. Nick, thank you for being a part of the show all the way out in Madrid. I expect an invite. I expect you at some point to say, hey, Slee, live from Madrid. Get your ass out here. Let's get a super one here. Vic, thank you very much for being a part of the show. Thanks for creating a platform for Laker fans. I listen every morning from the gym. Vic, I appreciate you, brother. Thank you. Yeah, and listen, the idea of this show is kind of talk about anything that's topical. So I will hit on, some NFL, some college football, but I know where my bread is buttered. It's around the NBA and it's around Lakers basketball. All right, let's keep things moving here. See another one here. I hate watching AR dribble around, but if he's going to pass, I'm happy about that. He's been getting his dimes these last couple of games. I'll tell you that right now. He definitely has. Come on, man. Greetings from Lebanon. Come on. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. I'm going Madrid and then Lebanon. All right? Everybody else, not visiting you guys. I got to do Madrid and Lebanon first, and then I'll go from there. All right, let's keep things moving here. You know what? I'm going to skip for a quick second here. Now, let me just pump through this real quick. I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but the fact that I promoted it on yesterday's show as well. Can Austin Reaves be an all-star? Can I just get this out of the way here real quick? There was a good article last night or 2 days ago. No, yesterday. Dylan Hernandez of the LA Times. Go read the article. Here's the column. It says, Lakers go all in on Austin Reaves and will learn whether he can become an all-star. When the Lakers traded D'Angelo Russell, the point of the article is that it was going to create a lot more opportunities for Austin Reaves. He's going to be on the ball more. He's going to be asked to facilitate more. He's going to be asked to score more. He's going to be asked to, contribute more assists on a night in, night out basis. That's what's going to happen to Austin Reaves on a night in, night out basis. I set that up because if you're asking Austin Reaves now, who, look, you could be a Reaves fan or you could not be. I already know some of the frustrations that Laker fans have on Austin Reaves. We're going to see some of it tonight against Atlanta. Big guards, they'll pressure you from start to finish. They're going to try to create as many turnovers as they can, and they're going to try to get Austin Reaves out of his game. But here's a question I got about Austin Reaves, and I'm curious to get your guys' opinion on this. Austin Reaves, over this last kind of stretch of games, is some of the best basketball that I've seen Austin Reaves play this year. And that I'm just being completely honest here. All right, let me. I know last night, nothing great. He didn't shoot well from the three-point line. He didn't shoot well from the field. He still had 11 assists and 8 rebounds, so he found other ways to contribute. Look at his stats over these last couple of games. He had a game against Cleveland, 35, 10, and 9. He had a game against Sacramento, 26, 16, and 6. He had the game winner against the Golden State Warriors, 26, 10, and 10. Here's my question to Laker fans. Can he be an all-star? Because right now, Austin Reaves does seem like an untouchable player for the Lakers. I've done a video on this before. He seems untouchable for a couple of reasons. Number one, he's untouchable because his contract is so cheap. It's $13 to $15 million a year this year, next year, and the following year. He's making nothing in comparison to what other players in the NBA make. That's number one. Number two, homegrown, good player, clearly has found a way to make his home with the Los Angeles Lakers. I was looking, and you know, some of the list is starting to come out here, all-star voting and everything else, as we're starting to get a little bit closer. I don't know how he gets on a Western Conference all-star team. How do you get on there with players like Luka, with players like Shea, players like Steph Curry? Obviously, this is going to have to be in a couple of years. It's not going to be when LeBron is still on the Los Angeles Lakers. There's so many players like Ja Morant, players like De'Aaron Fox. I'm just naming off guards. It's going to be very, very, very difficult for Austin Reaves to be an all-star. But what the article is basically getting into is they're basically handing him the keys and saying, you need to be not only Austin Reaves, but you need to also be whatever D'Angelo Russell was. We're going to combine both of those together, and we're going to put those on your shoulders. LeBron is 40 years old. There's only going to be so much that he can do. Look at the trade that the Lakers got back. Dorian Finney-Smith is asked to play a completely different role than Austin Reaves and what D'Lo provided for the Lakers. Shake Milton, okay, maybe he could do a little bit, but it's not like the Lakers are going to put all their trust in Shake Milton. Let's just put it this way. Based on the article, it's going to be very, very, very difficult to see Austin Reaves as an all-star in the Western Conference, where he has to take his game to and all the other guards that you're competing with on a night in, night out basis. If I just go, and I'll do this here real quick because I think it really does break it down. If I go down the standings and I just look at, okay, let me just see for every team out there. You got Shea with the Thunder. You got Ja with the Grizzlies. You got Jamal Murray with the Denver Nuggets. I know Murray not having the type of year that I'm sure he wants. I don't think he's ever made an all-star team, which is crazy in itself. You got, obviously, like I mentioned, Luka with the Mavs, plus Kyrie Irving. You got Anthony Edwards, who's in the backcourt. You got Steph Curry. Who am I missing here? Devin Booker, who I'm missing. De'Aaron Fox. I don't know how you get in an all-star game with all those players, but I think the idea more than anything else is the type of player that you should be, the type of player that the Lakers are going to expect you to be. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be very difficult. So let me get a couple of these comments here, and then I'm going to get into this Charles Barkley, JJ Redick stuff. If Austin can average 26 and 5 and the Lakers are top 3 next year, he could be an all-star for sure. Well, he's not that far from it, because I think it might not be 6 and 5, but no, it might be 6 and 5. I mean, Austin Reaves so far this year, his stats, he's 18, 6, and that's his last 10 games. Let's see, 18, 5.9, 4.5. It's not that far from it. The problem is there's just so many really, really good guards. Maybe he can be CJ McCollum. Okay, I could see that. CJ, clearly, if it's CJ McCollum, you clearly got to be, at minimum, the third best player on your team to be an actual championship contender. You're delusional, Sliwa. He's not an all-star. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. And you know what? You have the ability to call me delusional. D'Lo did this last year, and y'all kept saying, he can't do it in the playoffs. He couldn't do it in the playoffs. That's why people said that, is because he was horrible in the playoffs. He wasn't bad against Memphis and Golden State, but he also wasn't reliable. And when they got to the Denver Nuggets, you literally could not play D'Angelo Russell. I don't know about you guys, but I'm good without D'Lo. who, by the way, is probably going to play pretty well in Brooklyn. Brooklyn beat the Bucks yesterday. I saw something else. Maxwell Lewis got injured. I think injured his knee. Could be out for the year. I saw that. Awful. That was like in the first couple of minutes in his debut in his career with Brooklyn. So I really feel bad for Maxwell Lewis. He left the game as well. D'Angelo left the game as well, but I think he left it. I think it was a cramp. So I don't think he, left it for any other reason. All right, one more here, and then I got a couple other things I want to get into. Slee, AR has exceptional handles and creativity off the bounce. If he truly hits the gym and proves strength, he can be an all-star. Well, I'll tell you one of the things that he's really, really good at. He's remarkably creative, again, to the free throw line. He had that game Lakers played against the Cavs. Didn't he get to the free throw line 12, 13 times, something like that? I think 13 times is what he got there. Got to the free throw line, hits his free throw. So he's incredibly creative in that part of his game, and give him credit for that. Thank you for the super, brother. I appreciate it. All right. What's going on with Charles Barkley? What is going on with Charles Barkley? So I'm going to read you guys some quotes. Let me see how I can do this. Maybe if I just don't show the video. I've been getting hit on some copyright stuff every time I try, playing some of these videos. So I want to be careful of that, just because I can't monetize the show when I get hit with a copyright. So let me do this. Maybe there's a way I could do this where it's just audio. I'm going to grab this. Let me give you guys the backstory real quick of what's going on. Okay. The backstory real quick. And I think all this started, by the way, it's hilarious. So Charles Barkley on Inside the NBA yesterday. You guys remember this? About 2 weeks ago, I played a video. The Herd with Colin Cowherd also has another, you can call it a co-host or whatever his role is exactly. But on FS1, Jason McIntyre, I played a clip where he said, hey, I think the Inside the NBA crew is hurting the NBA. They're always negative. They're not saying anything positive. And then he went on to say something to the effect of, look at us. We're always positive with our partners. And I, if I could be completely honest, I didn't understand what his angle was. It's not inside the NBA's job to be positive because they are a partner of the NBA. It's inside the NBA's job to be critical and to give praise when praise is deserved. This is not this isn't a PR. These post games, these pre and post games are not supposed to be a public relations. Hey, let's just say great things about the players in the NBA, even though we don't believe that. I don't have any problem with Inside the NBA being critical. Not at all. Even though they're a partner, even though they're the most popular sports show that exists in any platform. I don't care if it's the NFL, Major League Baseball, NBA. Inside the NBA is the most popular sports show, period. They win award after award. They're phenomenal. They run circles around every other network out there because that's how good they are. I don't have a problem with them being critical. Do I think there's some times where I think they're unfair? Sure, I do think so. So last night, Inside the NBA, it was Charles Barkley. That was basically, I don't know what took him so long, but he was basically kind of addressing it. First off, Jason McIntyre is the name. I'm going to play this for you guys because he 100% does not say Jason McIntyre, which is actually pretty funny. Let me just play this here, and then we'll keep this thing going. I got to be creative here. I got a creative where I could just get the audio. All right, share screen. Let's find this. This was on, I think it was on SI that I'm grabbing it. Here's the account, King Charge, that put it up. Take a quick listen.
Was you just talking about folks on TV?
He said something about we're the reason people ain't watching this crappy product we got. That's JJ. Yeah, us, like we out there jacking up 100 threes a night. JJ, I don't know Jason Monroe. I don't know who that is, but JJ, you come for the king, you better not miss. Because I can get you, brother, because I got your Lakers games. You can't hide them flaws they got. You just a dead man walking. They got rid of Frank Vogel, who did a good job. They got rid of Darvin, who did a good job. But you came out there thinking you were going to change things with that same ugly girl you went on a date with.
64-51 was your halftime score. As we get back to the highlights, and Rudy Gobert.
No, he came in there thinking, I can make this thing work. Hell, you can.
77,
Hey, put the makeup on that pig.
The Lakers are pig.
The Lakers stink, man.
Oh, man, okay.
Come on, man.
Tatum, by the way, had 38.
All right. The reason why I wasn't showing the video because it's showing highlights. If I show highlights, then yeah, that's a problem. Okay. I think you guys we got the audio, and I think that's the only thing that I was trying to get right there. Oh, I got some thoughts on this. If you guys got some thoughts, feel free to throw it in the comments as well. A couple things here. How funny is that? I don't know why I think it's so funny. The guy's name is Jason McIntyre. He calls him Jason Monroe. That's such a Charles Barkley move where he doesn't give a rat's ass who the person is. Jason Monroe. Okay. If those are if there are people out there asking, well, what did JJ Redick say? Here's what JJ Redick said. He said, if I'm a casual fan, this was probably about a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago. He said, if I'm a casual fan and you tell me every time I turn on the television that the product sucks, well, I'm not going to watch the product. I don't know if he was taking a direct shot. I'm assuming that he was talking about them. I'm going to go back to what I said in the past. There are times that I watch Inside the NBA, and there's times where I feel like Charles Barkley, Shaq, Kenny, EJ. It's my favorite show as well. I think, there's a lot of people that feel that way. I will watch them. I mean, people who I know that don't even watch sports watch that show because of those personalities. Are there times where I'm like, yeah, they're going too far? Are there times where I'm like, yeah, that's unfair to that player or that's unfair to that coach? Sure. But that's not why the NBA is having the issues that they're having. So I'll read the quote again from JJ Redick. If I'm a casual fan, you tell me every time I turn on the TV that the product sucks, well, I'm not going to watch the product. That show's been around for a long time. Inside the NBA has been around for a long time. Did Inside the NBA all of a sudden just start influencing the NBA because it's not good? Guys, I was watching Lakers Blazers last night, and I'm going to give you a good example of this. There were times, and especially without Anthony Davis, it's like, all right, well, what are the Lakers going to do offensively? Screen and roll, kick out, 3. Rebound, take the ball up the floor, 18 seconds left on the shot clock, 3. Miss 3 Blazers, miss 3 Lakers, miss 3 Blazers. Go back and forth. It's too predictable. There's no creativity to the game. If I watch a football game, there are plays that are going to happen that are just creative. I didn't expect. Wow, that was cool. It's not the tush push every play. It's not a Hail Mary every time. The NBA has issues because there's no creativity and it's gone way, way too much towards analytics. I don't want to watch I don't need to see the league ran by a sheet of paper. I want the flow of the game. I want the feel of the game. There's also other things that the NBA does that really hurts the league. Too much stoppage. Every time it's stopped. Is that goaltending? Is it not goaltending? I got a challenge. He's got a challenge. Okay, the timeout here. This, that. There's no flow to the game. The game is just killed every time. And you know what? Part of that is the NBA. Because now for the replays, it's the Sprite challenge. It's this, it's that. Guys, you're clearly just all this is about is revenue. We understand you can make a lot of money. How's the product on the floor? The problem I had with Charles Barkley yesterday is, well, why are you going at the Lakers and JJ Redick that hard? Okay, let me read a little bit of the quote that he said. First off, he said, I don't know who that is, but JJ, he's talking about Redick, you come for the king, you better not miss. Can I tell you something? He is the king. Whether you like Charles Barkley or you don't, Charles Barkley is the king in the sports media platform, period. You can pick and choose who you like. You could say, oh, I'm a Pat McAfee guy. Cool. Pat McAfee on the throne right now. I'm a Stephen A. Smith guy. I'm a Shannon Sharp guy. It doesn't matter who you are. I'm Colin Cowherd. I'm not even trying to. That's not the point. Charles Barkley is the king, period. You can put other people on there. You can't have a conversation without saying Charles Barkley. So Barkley letting JJ know, I'm still a little confused why of all the comments that are out there, it's JJ Redick that he chose, but we'll keep going into it. Because I can get you, brother, he says. Because remember, I got your Laker games. You can't hide them flaws they got. You're just a dead man walking. Okay. That to me is not Charles Barkley's job. Charles Barkley's job is not to make it personal with JJ Redick. JJ Redick's going to have an opinion just the way Charles Barkley's going to have an opinion about everybody else out there. You're telling a first-year head coach with the Los Angeles Lakers that you're a dead man walking. Why? And then you're pointing out, well, Frank Vogel was there. That was a good coach. He's gone. Darvin Ham was there. That was a good coach. He's gone. You're just the next one coming. The Lakers stink. First off, if I looked at the Western Conference standings, it's not like, let's say Mike Brown had said it and the Sacramento Kings had lost 6 games in a row, and we know what the Sacramento Kings are. Why is he making it sound like the Lakers are 14th in the Western Conference and they got no chance of anything? They're 19-14 in JJ Redick's first year as the head coach. And I'm not even trying to protect the front office here or any of that stuff. But why did he make it so personal against JJ? Why wouldn't he just say, JJ, I completely disagree with what you got to say? And I don't even know, again, I'll say this again, and this is just one man's opinion. Why would Barkley make it so personal against him? He says they got rid of Frank Vogel, who did a good job. They got rid of Darvin Ham, who did a good job. If you came out there thinking you were going to change things with that ugly girl you went on that date with, the Lakers stink. He came in there thinking, I make this thing work. Hell, you can. Put some makeup on that pig. The Lakers stink, man. Come on, man. Okay. So those were pretty much his comments there. But very personal against JJ Redick. Very, I think Redick's done a good job so far. And I think if you're not giving Redick any praise up to this point, 35 games into his coaching, 33 games into his coaching career, then you're just hating. He's hating on the Lakers. That's fine. That's okay. But why make it so personal when, part of your job here, and I think part of the reason, I've said this before as well, there's a couple ways you can lose credibility. Barkley is already Barkley. He's not going to change his game. He doesn't need to. The guy is, on top of the throne, like I mentioned. But there's a couple ways that you can lose your credibility. One way you could lose your credibility is you never are critical of any of the players, the coaches, the teams, or any of that stuff. The Lakers are playing great. Yeah, they're down 20. What are you talking about? You lose your credibility. The other way you lose your credibility is when teams or players or coaches are doing a good job and you don't give them praise. Maybe the Lakers do stink. Maybe in a month from now, we might have a different tone about the Lakers. 5 games over 500, a chance to be top 4 in the Western Conference. They got players that are coming back. They'll probably make another move before we get to the trade deadline. They stink. Well, shouldn't you be saying that for teams like the Milwaukee Bucks, the Philadelphia 76ers, the Minnesota Timberwolves, teams that were expected to do a lot better and have taken a step back? I thought Barkley just, I think he got, I don't know the right word here, but I think he got his feelings hurt. I don't know what it is. I just can't understand why he ended up taking it so personal against JJ Redick. So those were the comments that were there. And that's where we are. Okay. Let's take a look here. And let's see some of the comments here. Because JJ has made comments in the past calling older players plumbers and electricians and not respecting the older players. Okay. Maybe that could be part of it. Let's see what he's got here. Redick is doing his thing, and he's got great chemistry with his players. Listen, I go back to this. If the Lakers were 6 games below 500, and it was clearly that, hey, the JJ Redick experiment's not going to work, what are they doing? Redick seems like, yeah, he's probably going to be a coach in the league for a little bit. Redick at least seems like, I know what I'm doing. I have a good idea of what I'm doing. And even if it doesn't work, on a night in, night out basis, I believe in a philosophy that I have, and I can move on from there. All right, let's take a look at a couple more of these. He's been saying the Lakers stink in the championship years, but gasses up Philly. Listen, I get it. There's probably a little bit of a personal thing, and the Lakers are a franchise that always gets the attention. The Lakers are a franchise that, you look at. It's not uncommon for the Lakers to be, one of those squads out there that's always getting the news and the attention. But inside the NBA, is doing that with the Lakers all the time as well. Let's see another one here. JJ will be gone in 2 years. No, he won't. I'll tell you why he won't be gone in 2 years. Because there's such a backlash on how quick the Lakers have been getting rid of head coaches. Whatever happens with the Lakers, and Bron is probably done in 2 years, the next iteration of the Lakers will include JJ Redick. Yeah, they don't want to recycle another coach. And the pressure of needing to win at the moment because Bron's on your team will be off. That won't be there anymore either. Barkley is straight Lakers hater. That's a good point. He's a king of clicks and funny takes, not because he's accurate. And it's kind of funny. You almost don't have to be accurate anymore. You just have to have a hot take. Unfortunately, that gets a lot of the attention as well. Let's get a super here. Thank you for the super, brother. Slee, JJ went after former NBA players. That's why they hate him. Disrespected the likes of the logo, Doc J. Well, listen, I'll ask you this. If you could give me some specific points. I wasn't always listening to JJ's podcast. So if there are, but that's my point. My point is that this was personal. This wasn't just about, JJ Redick. There was something personal with JJ. So if I missed some of that, you guys can let me know. But yeah, he definitely tore into him. I never really take Barkley seriously. He loves to hear himself talk. He's entertaining. I'll give you that. He's definitely entertaining. And by the way, this could very, very easily, the Lakers could come back down to earth. They could very well be, the 7 through 10 again and a play-in team and out in the first round. I'm not telling you the Lakers are going to go to the Western Conference Finals or represent the West in the NBA. What I'm telling you is so far through the first 33 games of the season, I think it's 33 games. What's the Lakers record right now? So far through the first, they're 19-14 right now. Through this first stretch of the season, almost getting to the halfway point, I'm not looking at the Lakers and saying, hey, JJ Redick's a big problem. I'm not. If somebody else is, then that's all good. But I'm certainly not. All right, let's get one more in here, and then I want to shift gears here to Jimmy Butler. Oh, Jimmy Butler. What the hell's going on in Miami? Charles Barkley is an entertainer. No question about it. What's this guy here? Chad, I got love for y'all, but till the Barkley thing is over, we got beef in these streets. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be over. I think it's only going to be promoted. Because let me tell you what's going to happen. Probably tonight. I'm assuming. Tonight, after the Lakers take on the Atlanta Hawks, or even in the pregame show, somebody's going to ask a question. Hey, did you hear Charles Barkley's comments? What was your thoughts on Barkley's comments? That's coming. Of course, that's coming. All right, let's keep it moving here. I appreciate all the comments here. Like I said, I think it was an interesting take. Kind of just went out of nowhere here. But my favorite part of the whole thing is he calls Jason McIntyre Jason Monroe. Where did he get Monroe from? That's so random. Okay, let's take a quick listen here, or not a quick listen. I want to go through another article here. So let me play you guys something here. There's been a lot of conversation around Charles Barkley. Okay, or I'm sorry. We're moving gears here. There's been a lot of conversation around Jimmy Butler. A couple reasons why I want to get into this. Number one, you guys know I love the NBA. I think there's a huge audience here that are Laker fans, but they're also NBA fans. And I'm going to also focus on the NBA. So have you guys been watching this saga between Jimmy Butler and the Miami Heat. Can I take you guys back a quick second? I thought it was interesting. This was about a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago. Shams was putting out, Shams Charania of now ESPN, was with The Athletic before, was putting out these, hey, here's where Jimmy Butler wants to play. And, if he gets traded, these are the teams that he'll come with and this and that. Out of nowhere, the agent of Jimmy Butler comes out and is like, I don't even want to address this, but whoever your sources are, you're wrong on this, that. Just kind of tears into Shams. And I got to be honest with you. A couple of things happened when I saw that. Number one, I'm like, okay, well, did Shams get this wrong? Woj just left ESPN. Now Shams is the guy. Did Shams get a bad lead on this one? All right, let's let it play out. Let's see what happens. And then it was maybe a week and a half ago, Pat Riley comes out. It's like, we're not trading Jimmy Butler. Okay, all these reports, this chatter. I know this is a conversation, blah, blah. It ain't happening. At that point, I'm like, they're protecting something, because for the agent to come out and be so vocal, and then for Pat Riley to come out and have his opinion on this matter, I'm like, well, why the hell would these? If this wasn't true, then they just wouldn't address it. Last night, post-game show, Jimmy Butler. I'm going to play some of this, okay? This is Jimmy Butler post-game. And he's talking about, his time with the Miami Heat. He's really talking about the joy of the game, where he's kind of lost the joy of the game. Take a listen here to Jimmy Butler. I'm going to see if this is at the right part. I don't want to play the whole thing, but I'm going to play about 30 seconds. Take a listen here to Jimmy Butler.
I want to see me get my joy back from playing basketball. And wherever that may be, we'll find out here pretty soon. But I want to get my joy back. I'm happy here, off the court.
I'm happy here off the court. He said nothing about on the court. Let's keep going here.
But I want to be back to somewhat dominant. I want to hoop, and I want to help this team win. Right now, I'm not doing that.
Can you get your joy back here on the court?
Probably not.
Damn.
Thank you, Jimmy.
Wow. Guys, I'm going to go out on the limb here. I don't think Jimmy Butler is going to be in Miami for that much longer. I know. Quote me on that, guys. A lot of people are coming out right now and saying, did you hear what Al said? Al doesn't think that Jimmy Butler is going to be a part of the Miami Heat. I know. That sounds shocking. Damn. All right, I got a couple thoughts on this. I didn't know this. I'm not following the Miami Heat, nor do I care. But here's what I do care about. I care about where Jimmy Butler goes, because a lot of people can sit back and say Jimmy Butler's trash. He's not good anymore. This guy's not good. This is just strictly to do with business. Jimmy Butler wanted an extension for $113 million over 2 years. He didn't get it in the offseason. And Miami and Mickey Arison, who's the owner of the Miami Heat, and Pat Riley, who's the legend president of basketball operations with the Miami Heat, one of the greatest to ever do it, basically said, no. The statement that Pat Riley had last week said, we'll make it clear we are not trading Jimmy Butler. Butler wants out. You're not going to keep Jimmy Butler if he wants out, period. I think the question is, and they got enough time here because there's about a month left, where can we get the most value? Miami will get value. They'll get what they need to get for him. But this is a bad look for everybody. It's also a bad look for Jimmy Butler as well. I was looking at this. In the last 2 fourth quarters, or last 2 games, he hasn't even played in the fourth quarter. I did not know that. I didn't know that they're not even using this guy right now. All right, here's one of them. I'm reading an article out of ESPN. An issue that led to Butler's decision, according to sources, was an implication from team officials Thursday that he hadn't played his hardest in the Heat's victory against the Pelicans. Playing his first game in 13 days after being away because of an illness, Butler took just 5 shots in 25 minutes. Heat coach Erik Spoelstra did not play Butler in the fourth quarter of either game this week. It's a bad look for everybody. It's also a bad look for Jimmy Butler, because if a team's going to trade for Jimmy Butler, they also want the best version of Jimmy Butler possible. People can hate on Jimmy Butler. If that guy's in the right team, right situation, let's put it this way. If he gets to the Western Conference, and let's just say he was with the Houston Rockets, damn, that could be a problem. The West doesn't need any more talent. And I think for, a lot of Laker fans that are out there, I think you're looking at a player like Jimmy Butler, and what you're hoping for is, do we really need another really good player? The reason why I mentioned Houston is because I do think Ime Udoka, first of all, it's a new environment. Second of all, there's a lot of young players there. Third of all, he'll probably have something to prove, a chip on his shoulder. Here is the Houston Rockets. They're in a position where top 3 in the Western Conference, whatever it is, they need a player like Jimmy Butler. Now, listen, I'm not telling you that he's going to go there. What I am saying is I think there is a situation where if he ends up in the right spot, he can do some damage. So that's my only fear of Jimmy Butler going somewhere. But don't forget, too, in the offseason, there was a lot of chatter about Jimmy Butler. And then Pat Riley said, let me say this again. So Jimmy Butler last year in the playoffs, first round playoff series, they lost to the Boston Celtics. Miami Heat did. And he missed that series because he had an injury. I think he had a knee injury. Then there was a lot of chatter of him wanting to get an extension. Here's what Pat Riley said about that. If you're not on the court playing, you should keep your mouth shut. There wasn't a better way of saying that. There wasn't like maybe we could round the edges a little bit. Here I am giving Pat Riley some advice. I'm pretty sure Pat Riley's not going to take my advice. There wasn't like just a little bit better of an approach on that one. Nonetheless, I think it's clear that Jimmy Butler is not going to be in a Miami Heat jersey much longer. Let's put it this way. If you want to buy a Miami Heat Jimmy Butler jersey, probably a good 50% off right now. I'd go online. They're probably available. So we'll see. We'll see what happens under that scenario. But damn, a couple of these comments. Riley is salty. Might be right there. Player empowerment has gone too far. I think there's always been a lot of power with the players. But then Shams goes straight to Jimmy, and Jimmy backs up Shams or Shams. Yeah, you might be right on that one. Jimmy Butler, 35. Jimmy will cost he ain't coming to the Lakers, just so for everybody to know. And for those that, if you told me it was a 1-year, 2-year run that you got with Jimmy Butler, Anthony Davis, and LeBron, I'd take my chances with that. I would. But he's not coming to the Lakers. He's not coming to the Lakers. Once they traded D'Lo, that was kind of it on that front. All right. Riley, the Godfather. He truly, truly is the Godfather. That dude is. Okay. Somebody here saying goes to the Warriors. Yeah, I don't want any of that. Enough good teams in the Western Conference. Okay, I got one thing left here. If you guys got anything else you want to throw in there, feel free to throw it in right now. Let me give the weekend preview here real quick. So weekend preview, just what's going on across all of sports. I'll do NFL. We'll talk a little college football, and then NBA. Damn, NBA's got some matchups tonight. So if you want Lakers and the Hawks, cool. That's at 7:30. I got some better games for you, or just as good as games coming up earlier. How about Celtics versus the Rockets? Rockets hosting the Boston Celtics. I know Jaylen Brown and Porzingis didn't play yesterday, and they still won the game at Minnesota. But Celtics, Rockets, that's a badass game right there. Knicks, Thunder. That's a phenomenal game right there. And then Spurs and the Nuggets. So tonight, there is some great, great NBA basketball. So something to keep in mind there. A couple other things, weekend preview. NFL, 2 games coming up tomorrow. Browns, Ravens. Bengals, Steelers. Bengals, Steelers, a good game because both teams got something to play for. That's a 5 o'clock game tomorrow. You know I'm kicking back tomorrow watching that game. No Laker game. No work tomorrow. I'll be relaxing. But the real game coming up is on Sunday. Vikings 14-2 at Detroit 14-2. That is for home field advantage throughout the playoffs in the NFC. Vikings Lions on Sunday night. Damn. That's a badass game. Badass game. What time do Lakers play on Sunday? Let me take a quick look at this here. You know, guys, I got to start setting up my schedule. I figure out what the hell's going on with my schedule. All right, I know they play their Lakers-Rockets at 4. Okay, perfect. Do a little Lakers-Rockets. Get that one in the – that's going to be a tough game. and then we'll move on to the next game that the Lakers are. That's a good test for. All right, I'm going to stop doing it. I'm going to stop with the barometer games because we know what's happened there. Okay, final thing that I'm going to mention here, unless you guys got some other comments. Got the Final Four in college football. Yesterday, we got a chance to watch Georgia and Notre Dame. Notre Dame won. So it's Texas, Ohio State on January 10th, a week from today. And then January 9th, a week from yesterday, will be Penn State and Notre Dame. That's the Final Four. That's part of this bracket here for college football. I will say this. I've loved this college football bracket. I do think it's going to expand. It's probably going to be 16 teams down the road. There's some things that they can make some adjustments to, but for the most part, I think it's been phenomenal. I went to the Rose Bowl. Went to the Rose Bowl on New Year's Day. Never been to the Rose Bowl, as in the actual game. Obviously, I've been to the stadium. I've caught some games there. I've gone to some soccer matches there. But in Pasadena, the Rose Bowl, January 1st, oh my God, phenomenal. Just the environment was great. Ohio State versus Oregon, two big-time programs, and it might have been the shittiest game I've ever watched in person. Before I sat down, cracked open my beer, and enjoyed some peanuts, it was 17-0. Before I could look at my phone, and I don't know, before I could even get to 3 o'clock, it was 34-0 Ohio State. The hell was that? I was back on SeatGeek trying to get my money back. I'm like, does anybody want these tickets? I'm going to sell these tickets. I had a strategy too. My strategy was I'm going to wait all the way till the end, and then I'll buy the tickets late. The prices just kept going up. It backfired. All right, I get a couple comments here. I'm going to call today. Let's see. Butler to the Knicks. I don't think they need anything else. I think the Knicks got what they need. I don't think they need another personality or anything like that. Excellent show. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you very much. Not a fan of the Lions, but I'm rooting for them. They're kind of an easy team to root for, if I got to be honest with you. The college playoffs have been boring. The games have been boring, but the concept is good. Look at me trying to sell college football like I'm getting paid from them. All right, let's get one more comment here, and then we're going to call it a day. Let's see what else we got here. AD will be back tonight. You better be back tonight. They're going to need him against the Atlanta Hawks. Okay, guys, thank you for hanging out. Hour and 7 minutes, almost an hour and 8 minutes. Obviously, last night I did the post-game show. Tonight, right after the Lakers take on the Atlanta Hawks, come join me. We'll do another post-game show, Laker post-game show, and looking forward to obviously talking some NBA basketball with you guys and talking Lakers basketball. Thank you to everybody that tuned in. Alaska in the house. Thank you, Alaska. What do we have today? We did Spain, Madrid. We had Lebanon. We had Alaska. That's what I'm talking about. Thank you all for being a part of the show. Greatly do appreciate it. 2 seconds, please. Subscribe to the channel. We're growing the channel. We're making it happen. This is my day-to-day now is on YouTube. I'm enjoying doing it. I appreciate all of you guys hanging out as well. Just subscribe to the channel if you guys don't mind. I will see everybody tonight after the Lakers take on the Atlanta Hawks. Have a great rest of your Friday, and we'll see you tonight. Thank you, everybody.